Do we see this bright pink box? Do we know what's probably in this bright pink box? I feel like usually there's a Jeffree Star logo somewhere on these boxes, but what do I know? Better get my lips hydrated for this video. We got a lot to talk about. Welcome to my overall review on the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star product launch slash also Shane Dawson's series that he did where he infiltrated the beauty world. I have so many things to say, and I had done a video when I first got my products in the mail doing like an unboxing and stuff, and I was kind of talking about the things that had happened in his series so far because the series wasn't over at that point. Oh, Shane, like it's not that we don't want you here in the beauty world, but it's like, please just stay out. It's a huge garbage dumpster fire here in the beauty community right now. Like, stay away. You don't want to get involved in this stuff. At that point, I feel horrible, but I was just bored with the series at that point. Slippery slope there. It is honking. Can we see how big that is compared to my hand? The thickness of it. Dear Shane, I don't mean for this to come across as rude. If there's any slim chance of you watching this video, please don't ever come on camera again and say that you're poor when you're like going and riding around on your golf cart in your mansion house. Shane. Cassie, don't give them your money. You're just making the rich more rich. And I'm like, yes, I know. I know. I'm curious to see if this all turns out to be like some huge conspiracy, this whole like making of this palette and whatnot, if it's supposed to be like a dig at the beauty community in the long run, you know, like certain things like the site crashing and the mayhem with the ordering, and then now with like people finding faults in their shadows. Like, was this all formulated? Was this all on purpose for like a bigger statement in the end? I don't know. I don't know. The series is not over. But in any case, I had gotten my products on the launch day. I sat through all of that madness. You know, I was with you guys on Twitter tweeting out my frustrations. Same frustrations that everyone had. And then my products got to me in the mail, what was it, like 3 weeks later or something? It took a while for them to get to me, but overall I was happy that I was able to get the products, even though I was a little miffed that the set had sold out. You know, the conspiracy and mini controversy combined for the discounted price that had sold out, even though you could still buy these separately at the time. I was very sad and confused and whatever else. So I didn't get the discount, but whatever. I was just happy because the mini controversy, you know, wasn't showing up in the beginning. And so when it finally did show up, I was like, you know what? I need to order it. Plus I needed to order the lip balm because that hadn't showed up either. And that was something that I was like really looking forward to, being a lip balm addict and all that. But like I said, I had done like an unboxing and stuff, and I'll probably like insert some clips and stuff from it throughout this video. But I just felt like, I don't know that I felt like I came off super negative, or I just felt like the video as a whole, it just didn't express what I was trying to express. I didn't speak correctly, I guess I could say that, or I used the wrong tones, or whatever it is. I didn't like my overall feel that I got with my initial video, so I figured I can film again, especially now that the series is finished, so I can really get my opinions together and whatnot. And overall, I mean, you guys, I think my opinions, I feel kind of bad even like making this video because I feel like my opinions reflect the masses in that I love Shane. I really do. Like, I have followed Shane for a very long time. I have been watching Trisha Paytas for even longer, and she, when she started collaborating with Shane, is who introduced me to him, you know, virtually. I had known about Shane, but I didn't really give his videos a try, I don't think, before that, or I had and they just weren't my taste. But around that time when he was collabing with Trish a lot, I loved them together, and then I loved them separately as well. So I've been following Shane for a long time, as many of us have, and I just love him, and it was really exciting, you know, like being a part of the beauty community myself, seeing him wanting to take a step in, but at the same time I was also like terrified to see him do that because I know how bad it gets here. You know, when he first put out his trailer, it was all about the drama that was happening at the beginning of this year, and it was kind of one of those things where it was like, I'm excited for you, but it looks like you're just feeding in, Shane, to all of the drama that has created itself in the beauty community and just kind of how ugly it's gotten. And so I know when I saw the trailer, I was really scared that like, oh my God, like this is just gonna be even more poop on the beauty community, you know? I feel like people as a whole have a horrible view on us anyways, like we're all petty and dramatic and blah blah blah, which like don't get me wrong, many people are, but I mean not just in the beauty community, but I feel like it really comes out in the beauty community, just like the cattiness and stuff, and I just hate it. I mean I hate drama channels and, you know, not necessarily the people that make the drama channels, but I just hate the spreading of drama in general, because when people are like making up theories and like making up really awful labels about people, like I know I've been labeled really awful things that I don't think are true, but based on what people want to believe and based on the few things that they have found on the internet or whatever else, not just about me, but about anybody, it's like you can piece together any kind of a story you want about anybody, basically. And I just didn't want that to get further pushed upon us. And then also like kind of knowing Shane through his videos, I was also very terrified for him because I see a lot of myself in Shane, or you could say vice versa. Like a lot of his personality traits I also have, whether it's about body image, you know, disordered eating, the self-deprecation, struggles of like never really being successful, but like really pushing for it. I mean, granted, he finally ended up being successful. I mean, I'm still successful in comparison to him. I'm not successful at all, but like, you know, just like making a name for yourself and following your dreams or whatever, no matter what people are saying, even though they say to stop, you know, keep going and blah blah, whatever else. And also the fact that Shane very clearly loves drama, loves watching drama, but I can also tell that he's the kind of person that doesn't like being in the drama. That's how I am too. I love watching drama on TV. But when it comes to my life, I don't want any part of drama. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. And so I just knew that Shane was inserting himself into that, and I didn't want that. And then as this series progressed and everything, you know, we were about to get the final episode, and everyone's like, where's the drama that you put in the trailer? And he didn't put the drama in because I think partially it didn't fit with the storyline that he ended up coming up with. And then also, I don't think he wanted to insert himself into that drama, especially drama that was so old news at this point, because I feel like a lot of people stopped rooting for the beauty community a long time ago, right? Like I feel like people want the beauty community to burn in flames and just crumble. Always people wanting, you know, yes, drag her and tear them down and cancel them and blah blah blah. And so it was really nice to like see someone want to be a part of the beauty community, and also it was just nice to see someone be so excited about actual makeup and the beauty world. It was just really nice. Instead of trying to find the negative, Shane was looking for the positive and feeling the positive, testing out makeup and stuff. And just a lot of parts in the series, there were little snippets, I feel like, where happy, wholesome moments were happening, and it just made me happy. And as much as I know people want the drama and this and that, I also think there's a big chunk of people that love that wholesome kind of happy content. And that was just really nice to see on YouTube again in terms of like beauty videos. Overall, unfortunately, I felt like the series was way too long, and also it didn't have enough direction to it. I think that's one thing that Shane always kind of struggles with these docu-series that he tries to do. They just end up feeling like really long glorified vlogs. I really do look at them as vlogs, which is a shame because I think, you know, Shane wants them to be more like films, documentaries, whatever. And I just feel like with the length and the meandering of storylines and non-conclusions of many of those storylines within the big story picture, it just never happens, and it just feels, it cheapens it, I guess, at least to me anyways. And I find myself, I used to look so forward to watching Shane's videos, and unfortunately with the continuation of any of these series, after about episode 1 or 2, I'm bored, I'm done, I put off watching the last episodes, / sometimes I don't ever even finish the series because I just get so it's just too much. They're just too long. Something that I personally think would be really fun is if Shane, he could like actually, okay, so first off, don't make the trailer until you're done editing the series. You know, you want to know what the series is going to be before you make the trailer. And also make a storyboard, make multiple storyboards, you know, get to work editing. I know you have hundreds and hundreds of hours worth and a year's worth of footage and everything, but start editing right away, you know? You can always change storyboards as things go on, but I think leaving it to the last minute also makes things feel really choppy and directionless. But I mean, like I said, so make your movie, make your however part long movie, but also like condense. Many of the episodes here that were in this series could have been condensed down to like 15-20 minutes tops, and overall could have been one movie. You know what I mean? So do that. Make your movie, make your docu-series, whatever, and then on the side, make a vlog channel. Like, bring back your vlogs, you know? You can include all of that extraneous footage, all of that extra stuff that you want to include that you obviously find very sentimental, you know, like the part of you going back to your old house with Ryland and everything. That, to me, did not need to be in this series, and that was what, like a good 10-20 minutes in one of the episodes? It just didn't need to be there. And it just made the storyline lose focus. But as a vlog, that would be really great. And then you can still have that sentimental footage to look back on yourself. But then the people who aren't interested in that and just want to see the stuff about the makeup, see, they're separate. People like that. I've learned that because oh, many things on my channel changes have been made, and I think one of the better things is just keeping things separate. You know, people like that kind of separate organization rather than all mixed together. Now, granted, Shane does not have to listen to any of my advice, critiques, suggestions. I mean, he's probably never gonna watch this video, but I just think, you know, one of the main reasons that like the first episode in all of his series gets, you know, 20 million views, 25 million views, and then as the series progresses with each episode, it goes down by millions of views. You know, first episode will have 25 million views, next video will have 21 million views, next video will have 15 million views, and it just starts to taper, and I personally think that that's why. I don't think it's people necessarily not having time to have watched them yet, since they are, you know, weeks apart. I think it mainly comes down to people just losing interest because they're so long and the storylines are so meandering and non-conclusive. Another critique I would like to add is that on the very off chance that Shane sees this, or also I would love to know if anyone else agrees with me, but like I would love if Shane got another camera person. Not like someone to replace Andrew, but someone in addition to him. So that instead of having the camera constantly going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between people, you can make cuts during dialogue scenes. And also, I just want Andrew to have some kind of like stabilization gear for his camera. Like, I like the look of a handheld thing, but his is so shaky, and you know, if we could get another camera person that, I mean, I know this would be hard because it's nice having someone around to laugh at your jokes while you're filming and everything, but if we could have someone that's not your friend, slash doesn't think you're funny, slash doesn't laugh out loud very much even, that would work. Because the laughing makes the camera shake, and it's just, the camera quality has gone down so much, I feel like, with each series progressing, because I feel like Andrew and Shane become, you know, closer because they're working together so much, and so with that, things get shakier. There are more laughs. It's so shaky, and I'm not the type of person that gets motion sickness very much, but I get really nauseous watching these videos. Now, a lot of the times I can't watch them. I'll have them on in the background and I'll listen to them, but I can't watch. Like, during when they were first looking at all the pans of the shadows in Jeffree's kitchen and like that sort of thing, looking at all the shades, like all of the cuts between Jeffree and Shane and the shadow on the table, and then also just like all of the moving around, I was physically getting slightly ill. And that's a bummer. It's a real bummer. And I know that people who actually get motion sickness very easily, I would think they probably experienced the same thing. But overall, part 2 here, kind of. the makeup. Let's talk about it. It's kind of a little bit in tandem with the actual filmmaking and stuff. I wish we could have learned more about the makeup. I wasn't like super interested in like the super nitty-gritty about makeup making, but even just a little bit, instead of just like looking through a bunch of swatches of colors and saying, oh yeah, that looks like the color of Cheetos, let's make that one Cheeto dust in my palette. I would love to like actually hear little things about, you know, let's see, which shades in particular. There were a couple of them. I think like Diet Cola, wasn't that one of the ones where they swatched it and they were like, no, we can make this more metallic, it needs to be more metallic. And then they sent the sample back and then they got it back and it was how they wanted it. Tell us how that happened. I would love to have known, like, what did the lab do to tweak the formula to make it more metallic? That would have been cool. Or like the food videos shade, didn't that one get sent back to be brighter and just more pigmented in general? How'd you do that? I don't know. I still don't know after watching this series. But I do think, you know, the packaging and everything, it's so Shane. It's so very Shane, and that pleases me. At least the Conspiracy palette. The Mini Controversy palette, I don't personally see as much of Shane in this one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know Shane as a person, so like I could be completely wrong in that, but this one just doesn't feel as Shane to me, and I also don't think it's as good of a palette. I think a lot of the colors are a lot weaker in this one, like the left row here with the light blue, the purple, and the lilac, very light lilac. Those shades are just really weak. They take a lot of building up in terms of pigment. They're just not as nice as some of the other ones, especially in the Conspiracy palette, which I also had to have a little chuckle when I first was looking at this and I saw all of the shades that they have listed on here that are not intended for use around the eye area. It's like half the palette, which I know a lot of things are like that, and like glitters and stuff are not meant for the eye area. It was just one of those things where it's like, good God. Oh wow. I'm pretty sure a lot of these shadows, cheese dust, sleep paralysis, food videos, my pills, Trisha, not a fact, flamin' hot, and pigment, 9 out of 18. That's half of these shadows, it says on here, are not intended for use around the eye area. That's a lot. That's a lot. But this works for me. It's very haphazard, but that's very Shane, so like I get it. But I do love that this palette as a whole, we've got our neutral row up top, along with some of the colors on the bottom here. So if you want just a neutral look, great. But I mean, Shane even touched on this in the video. He wanted to make a palette where it included some of these crazy colors that you wouldn't normally use, or that many people wouldn't normally use. He wanted people to be able to be inspired to play with a little bit of color. And I know for me, like, how many have I done? 6 looks or something? I've got my whole separate tutorial video and everything for you guys. But it has certainly pushed me. I mean, how often do you guys see me do an eye look like this? You don't. You just rarely do. I feel like a shiny Pokemon today. Rare out in the wild. And by the wild, I mean my apartment with false lashes on. But yeah, I really have had a lot of fun playing with these colors, and these are colors that I definitely wouldn't have necessarily ever put together. So it's been really fun playing with these colors. It really has. And honestly, these two palettes do play well with each other. I've done 2 looks, the look today and then a different one that have used shadows from both palettes. So that's nice that the color story works as a whole. And just overall, I mean, I personally would recommend the Conspiracy palette. Who knows, now that they changed the Mini Controversy and they've added the emerald shade that everyone wanted, blah blah, maybe it'll be better. I don't think the inclusion of that green is going to make this any more cohesive, but that's just me. In any case, I really have been enjoying this palette, and just being someone who loves Shane, it's just one of those pieces that it's really nice to have. This was also my first time playing with Jeffree Star eyeshadows. It's been a long time since I've used much of his makeup in general, I feel like. That's kind of a lie. I tried his concealer and powder. Love those. But this was the first time using his eyeshadows, and he does have a very good formula, I will say. Some of the shadows, yes, they need some improvement, mainly the paler, more pastel mattes, like What's the Tea, and like I said, the one row in the Mini Controversy palette, but certainly the shimmers are gorgeous. They are smooth, they are buttery. Some of the matte shades are smooth and buttery, like Tanacon and Diet Root Beer. They do have a lot of kickback. so be careful. I also find that Trisha throughout the day flakes all over my face and I just get really pink. Like it's all under my eye and that was not there when I first put this on, so that's a bummer. But it's so pretty that I guess I just don't care. It's kind of like with glitter. I just don't care if there's fallout throughout the day. I mean, I care, but not enough to do anything about it. The lip balm I was also super bummed about. I mean, I was very excited about it, but I was bummed overall. It's really average, if you ask me. It doesn't smell like root beer. If you ask me, it's a very mild scent. I did film myself when I first opened this and everything, so you guys can watch that here. I'm gonna go in with the lip balm, give my lips a little bit of moisturizing. So excited to smell this. So this is in a bullet shape. As you can see, it's got Shane Dawson on it and the Jeffree Star logo. It is a clear balm. It doesn't smell like root beer to me. It smells more like, do you know those hard candies that were like root beer barrels? It smells like that, where it doesn't quite smell like root beer. It's got a hint of it. So I'm honestly a little disappointed, but let's see how it feels. I just want to be zoomed in to see this lip balm in action. I know, a clear lip balm. Wow. But to me, as a lip balm addict, it's very exciting. It's kind of doing the thing that the Jaclyn Hill lipsticks were doing, where it gets kind of balled up. Can you see the little balls in there? So it just feels kind of like grainy on my lips. There, can you see that? That big ball on the side there? Otherwise, I mean, it feels like a lip balm. And overall, I do get those little bumpies, which to me is fine. You know, it is a manufacturing error, I guess, when they pour the thing into the mold and the the heating and the cooling, whatever, it makes the little beads. But overall, I mean, it's not metal, so it's not like cutting my lips. So do I really care? Not enough to not use this. Like I said, it's a fine lip balm. It's nothing special though, if you ask me. Just my opinion. And just overall as a whole, I mean, these shadows wear beautifully throughout the day, aside from the Trish shade, which does have the fallout like I mentioned. But at the end of the night, these are still looking just as wham bam pigmented as they did when I put them on. Barely, if any, fading. Very, very subtle creasing in the inner corners of my eyes, like very subtle, and it's not all the time, but on a couple of the looks I did notice that. And just overall, I really have been enjoying the eyeshadow palettes. I was kind of on the edge of like, I don't know that I'll ever reach for this again after doing this review, but I actually do think this is a palette, the Conspiracy palette anyways. That's one that I will actually still grab for. I'm certainly curious to see if Shane and Jeffree do another collaboration. I'm sure they will. I mean, I know one of the biggest critiques that a lot of people say is that this whole series was just one big cash grab. I don't think that that was the main intent. I do think that, you know, it kind of turned into like, wow, I can make a lot of money with Jeffree type of a thing. And Jeffree said, I can make a lot of money with Shane. And they did, as they showed us. And I also agree that throughout the series, it felt like each episode was one big commercial for the product. At the same time, I don't really know how they would have gotten around that since they were showing us the making of these products. You get what I'm saying? And that alone is always gonna feel kind of like a commercial when this is something that you can buy. But overall, I'm curious, like I said, to see if they come out with any more collabs in the future. I would love, I don't think Jeffree has any pressed glitter shadows. I would love to have an inclusion of some pressed glitter shadows in a palette. I think Shane would have a lot of fun with that, some glitter, maybe eyeliner. I don't know. I just think there's some things that they could still make together, collab on a highlight, something like that. And hopefully, if there is another new launch from them, it won't go as poorly as this time around went. Involved with that, just on all sides, was not fun. But good on Shane, good on Jeffree overall. Like I said, I'm enjoying my products. I kind of enjoyed the series. It was okay. family, I guess. But I just love watching Shane, and I love seeing Shane and Jeffree's friendship. I don't personally watch Jeffree because I don't like his persona that comes on in front of the camera in his own videos, but I do like watching him in Shane's videos. I do like seeing their friendship on camera. I think it's one of those they work well together. Their two personalities. I think they're very fun to watch. So I will be curious to see what happens in the future with them. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on everything down below. Like I said, I know I am late to the game in making this video because I actually wanted to test out the products in full. Not that other people didn't, but you know, like a lot of people were putting up their first impressions and stuff of the palette, which is totally fine. I just wanted to put up, you know, after really using the products, you know, how I felt about them, and now that the series is over, how I felt about the series. So, like I said, tutorial video will be down below. There should have been cards, all that good stuff. I would also love to hear from you guys, like I said, how you felt about these products. Are you gonna be pre-ordering if you did not end up getting them on the launch day? All that stuff. I just love hearing from you guys, but like, please be nice. Please just be nice. Not only to me, but Shane, Jeffree. I just know with controversial figures come controversial comments, but at the same time, you can be controversial, but also like, be kind, please. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna get going. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know by giving the video a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. You can become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. Until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!